What's up, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Scotty Taylor Jr. podcast. This is going to be a really fun episode because today's episode is all about this idea that if you're a financial advisor and you're not getting inbound leads, your prospecting system is broken. This is going to be so valuable. It's going to be short, sweet, to the point. I feel like every time I say that it's short and sweet, it ends up being longer, but I'm going to go straight into this. So let's dig in. And so if you're a financial advisor, you're going to want to tune into this. But even if you're not, even if you're an entrepreneur, I'm going to share some thoughts and ideas with you that are going to be extremely, extremely valuable. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. All right, welcome back, my friends. So as I mentioned, if you are a financial advisor, and again, I'm gonna say financial advisor, but you could also be any other type of entrepreneur. So it's gonna sub really well in this regardless. If you're in a service-based industry, right? So mortgage broker, realtor, financial advisor, coach, physical therapist, whatever it is, service-based entrepreneur. If you want to build a sustainable practice, a fun practice, if you want to build a practice that's like fucking easier than ever, you need to be getting inbound referrals. And that's just like period. Like we need to be getting you inbound referrals. And the reason for this is aside from just making your life easier, right? So like, yes, we're going to make your life easier by getting inbound referrals because you don't have to do anything. They're just in your inbox or in your phone or whatever it is. When somebody reaches out to you and they're like, hey, I'm excited to chat with you. You know, I was introduced to you by blah, blah, blah. Can we set up a time to talk? That's like music to my fucking eyes when I see that in my inbox. So aside from it just making your business easier, the real reason that we need to create an inbound lead system and structure for you in your financial business is because, believe it or not, and most likely for you, 90% of the hustling that you're doing in your business is centered around booking people on your calendar, meeting new people, getting referrals, booking people on your calendar. And so if you are able to start generating inbound leads, your entire fucking business is going to transform. And so this is the realization for this came in a couple of weeks ago when I started hiring more people for my team, for my social media manager, my Facebook ads manager, a lot of people that I brought onto my team. I had this realization, and it's something that I knew for a while, but it really hit me stronger because I've been an advisor for about 6 years now. So I started my career in 2018. So I've been an advisor for about 6 years. And the first 2 years of my career, I was fucking hustling. So I was 30 years old when I started. So I wasn't 21. So I didn't have the same desire to hustle, but I really wanted this career to work. So I had no strategy, no systems. I just had a really fucking strong desire to make this career work. And I really wanted to make $250,000 a year. Those were the only two desires I had. And I had a great support system, right? So it's not like I did this all on my own, but I had no fucking systems. I didn't have staff. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I had a desire for this business to be successful. And so one of the things that I did in the early part of my career was I hustled my way to success. Again, no systems, no fucking strategy. I tell people I was like a chicken with my head cut off. I was running around like a crazy person trying to meet people. I was just hustling my way to success. And so the reason that I'm bringing this up and I'm talking about this is because there's two parts of the financial planning world that I've identified. There's two very distinct parts. And this is very likely the same for any service-based entrepreneur. So again, you can substitute financial advisor for whatever your role is. The one part of your business is the client actual servicing. So meeting the person, having conversations with them, actually serving them. So whatever that looks like for you. So that could be doing a fact finder, closing them, talking about investments, talking about insurance, right? Like helping them through the underwriting process, helping them open up their investment account, doing annual reviews with clients. all of that is the client flow. That's like managing clients. That's like the whole process of working with clients. The other aspect of it, and this is like the front end, is the lead generation part. So this could be dialing people, this could be getting referrals, cold calling, cold emailing, etc. So it doesn't, anything on the front end is how do I bring people into my business? On the back end, it's how do I service people and make them clients? And this realization came in because the client flow, so the bringing the people into your business, the closing them, the doing the onboarding with them, that is the easiest part of your business to automate and systematize. You can hire people for that. You can delegate, you can eliminate tasks, you can create automation for that entire part of your business. So fucking easy. Like you can streamline that part of your business very easily. You can literally hire somebody, an assistant that has worked with other financial advisors and have them take over the entire underwriting investment part of the business in like 3 weeks. If you hire somebody and just delegate everything to them, you can be done with it. The realization that I had, and this is partly because in 2019, I hit $250,000 of revenue. So 2 years into my financial planning career, I hit $250,000. And I thought to myself, I'm working all the fucking time. I was working like 6 to 7 days a week. And I want to hit $500,000 of revenue now, but I don't want to work twice as hard. In fact, I can't work twice as hard. There's no more hours left in the day. I'm already working weekends, working late nights, working mornings. I'm getting to the office at like 7 a.m. Like there's nothing more for me to physically do. Like I can't work twice as hard to make twice as much money. So I took a step back and I realized, and this is probably gonna be a big eye opener for you, that 90% of the reason that we're hustling so hard, or at least I was hustling so hard in my business, was because I was constantly trying to meet new people, to book them on my calendar, to eventually bring them, to make them a new client. And so hustling for me looked a lot like spending hours on LinkedIn, adding and messaging people, spending hours on Facebook, messaging old friends or old coworkers and starting conversations, inviting them to a phone call, like spending all that time. Tons of time cold calling. I used to cold call the Chamber of Commerce. I used to cold call and cold email people all the time at different companies. I spent a ton of time researching ways to get referred to people. So I'd be building feeds lists, like constantly on LinkedIn, searching different people, trying to find referrals. And if I wasn't getting teed up referrals, so if people were like sending me a referral, but they weren't teeing me up saying, hey, you know, Mike, you're really gonna meet Scott, he's great. If they were just giving me the person's name, it's like a fucking cold call. I had to call them, text them, email them. It was like fucking sending a carrier pigeon was a last resort to get the person to respond, to be potentially open for a meeting. And I realized that like 90% of the stress and anxiety and pressure and work I was doing was around that, was around finding those people, inviting them to calls with me. So I had this realization that if I can create a system for prospecting and generate inbound leads, 90% of the work that I'm doing as an advisor will disappear. And there's still other shit to do, right? I don't want to oversimplify and be like, well, if you just get inbound leads, nothing matters, because there's other stuff to do, right? There's other things to improve upon. But I realized that most of the work that I was doing, and especially the stress I was feeling, was around just not having enough people to talk to consistently, not having enough referrals come in, not having enough people in my dial list, not having enough people to talk to reach out to. And so I was just doing all the fucking things, the LinkedIn, the cold calling, the cold emailing, the networking events. I was doing it all because I was overcompensating. I didn't have a system, so I was hustling my way to success. And let me tell you, it worked, but it was fucking miserable. I don't take it back. I had to learn that. I had to go through that. But if somebody had taught me how to create a prospecting system early on in my career, whew, Lord, my business would have been so much easier, so much better, and I probably would have grown even faster in a more regulated and sustainable way. So if you are thinking to yourself, or if you're looking at your business right now and you're realizing that the only way people get on your calendar is because you reach out to them, we have a fucking problem. We have a fucking problem because you are now the bottleneck for your business, and your business will never scale to that next level because it's all on your shoulders to do. Call people, email people, follow up with people, like it's all on you. And if you delegate that away, cool, right? Then you free up some of your time, but it's still the same energy of I'm reaching out to you to book a call instead of letting you reach out to me to book a call. I want a business and a practice where people are emailing me, reaching out to me to be like, ooh, I'm interested in what you have to say. I'm interested in the fact that you solved this problem for this person, and I'm ready to talk to you also. So here's the thing. If you're only getting referrals or you're only booking people through outreaches, then the long-term game is just not sustainable, right? Your business is just not going to be sustainable long-term because, again, everything falls on your shoulders. And so the long story short is that we need to help you create a system for becoming a prospecting farmer. So a prospecting farmer is somebody who plants seeds and harvests crops later and gets inbound referrals. So I'm going to share with you a couple of the details, what prospecting farming is and is not, and how you can actually become a prospecting farmer. First, let me take a sip of my oat milk latte. We're running low, which means that I'm highly caffeinated. That's a good thing. Most of the time, not all the time. So, prospecting farming, the energy of getting inbound referrals. If you're like, fuck, that sounds really fucking good. The first thing I want to point out is that farming is the perfect metaphor for this, because if you plant a watermelon seed, you're not going to turn around the next day and dig up the watermelon seed and be like, where's my fucking watermelon? Right? That would be silly. You know that there's a growth period, there's a gestation period where the seed becomes the watermelon. Becoming a prospecting farmer is the exact same. So when you plant seeds with your clients, right, you train them to refer you business, you nest at companies, you create email campaigns, whatever that looks like to you, and I'm going to share some strategies with you later on. Whatever that looks like to you, you're planting the seeds and you get the referrals later. So prospecting farming is not something that you just transition to, boom, all of a sudden you're like, cool, I'm a farmer now. No, you can still be a prospecting hunter and do what you're doing, but you add on farming because eventually you want to pivot your business to be more farming focused and more inbound lead focused. And I will tell you from personal experience, it's a lot fucking nicer when all that gets done, right? Just truthfully, when you are only getting inbound referrals, it's really fucking nice. It makes your business a lot fucking easier. So here's what prospecting farming is not. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things that prospecting farming is not, just so that we don't get confused. So number one, you tell one client one time, hey, I accept inbound referrals, and you just expect them to remember that and send you lots of referrals. Nope, that's not prospecting farming. Farming is not helping somebody with planning, right? You give them term insurance or disability, or you help them with an investment account or an IRA, whatever it is. And you think that just because you did a good job that they should send you inbound referrals. That's not fucking prospecting farming. Or you ask in a meeting for referrals, but because you're not super confident, you're asking a little soft, you're like, hey, who do you know? And they're like, yeah, I'll think about it. And you're like, cool, I'd love for you to introduce me to people as you think about it. And you expect them to just send you referrals in the future, which, I'm sorry, does not work. And if you're listening to this, you're probably nodding your head and being like, yeah, that doesn't work. Because when somebody says, I'll think about it, how often do they actually think about it and then get back to you? 1 out of every 100 times, I'm sure, right? So that's not prospecting farming. So here's how you become a prospecting farmer. So these are going to be some tips. So if you're listening and you're a note taker, this is your time to take some notes, because this is some gold shit for you to become a prospecting farmer, which again is the vibe, right? We want to become a prospecting farmer because, again, it makes your life easier. You're getting inbound referrals, and it just totally shifts the energy from I'm reaching out to you, hey, do you want to have a call? The person's like, yeah, I'll hear you out. To this person reaches out to you, Scotty, I heard such great things about you. I would love to set up a time to talk because I really need help. And that person that comes in actually wants to work with me. They're sitting here thinking, I want to work with Scotty. There's no convincing, there's no sticky energy. It's just fucking clean energy. It's just such a vibe. So here's how to become a prospecting farmer. Here are some ideas and some strategies. Number one, solve a really specific problem for a really specific person. So all of your friends, your family, your coworkers, any of your acquaintances, all of those people, they know exactly who you work with. So they are thinking to themselves, I can quickly and easily refer you business, Scotty, because I know that you solve a specific problem for a specific person. This is so crucial. I dig deep into this in my signature program, the Financial Advisor Academy. But if you can solve a specific problem for a specific person, it makes the referrals so much fucking easier. Here's an example. One of my friends, Nav, I was talking with her and I asked her a question. I was like, hey, this is where I'm at in business, right? I'm at like 30, 40, 45K months pretty consistently. I really want to get to 80K and I need X, Y, and Z. Shared some thoughts with her. She said, these are two people you need to talk to. And she was able to refer me two people. And the reason she was able to do that was because those two people they solve a specific problem. And she sent me the first person, and the woman's profile said, I help online course creators hit $80,000 to $500,000 months. And I was like, that's literally fucking me. I was like, that's exactly what I need. I messaged her and we're hopping on a call today to explore if working together makes sense. But I reached out to her, and I reached out to her because Nav introduced me. Now, Nav, I adore dearly. She could have introduced me to somebody who on their profile said, I help anybody grow their business. And I would have been like, meh, I trust Nav, but meh, I don't know if this person's really for me. The fact that she has such a specific target with who she helps made her irresistibly referable. So Nav sent me to her the soon as she heard that I have the problem that this person can solve. I cannot fucking stress this enough. And this is what we go into so deep in the Financial Advisor Academy, because if you don't solve a problem for your clients, or if you don't know what the problem is that you solve, you're missing out on so much opportunity. I'm just gonna leave it there. Second way to become a prospecting farmer. You add people on LinkedIn, you post valuable content, and you invite them to a conversation. So rather than a direct messaging approach where you add somebody on LinkedIn and message them, you can add people on LinkedIn, and you can do this through automation. You can have your assistant do it. And then you post valuable content. And on the valuable content, you have a call to action. DM me the word financial planning if you want to talk with a financial advisor. Like, you have a call to action that incentivizes people or motivates people to reach out to you. And this is, again, an opportunity for you to be planting those seeds in a social media platform that's compliant. Again, talk to your compliance team or whatever if you have one. Don't rely on me for that. And then the person's reaching out to you because they're like, oh, this is valuable information. I'm excited and interested to hear what this person has to say. And bonus tip, the content that you're providing is probably going to be around the problem that that person has. So we're all coming full circle here again. The next way that you can become a prospecting farmer is you include all of your prospects, even the leads that have not become clients yet, on an email list, and you send out emails regularly so that they can reach out to you when they're ready. One of the things about financial planning that I find fucking preposterous is, at least the way that I was taught, is you call somebody consistently, right? So you call them every week and you book the call when you talk to them. I'm like, what if this person doesn't want to talk to a financial advisor right now, but in 3 months from now, they'll want to talk to them? This idea that you're going to reach out to people periodically throughout the year or over multiple years and just hope that they're ready to be ready for planning, it just blows my mind. It makes no fucking sense. It's so ineffective and so inefficient. I have to call, like, if I have got 500 referrals that never moved forward with planning, I got to call all 500 referrals every year so that eventually, like, hopefully I catch them at the right time. No, why would I do that? I'm going to send out one email to all of them every other week. once a month. And then there's no pressure. They're not like, oh, Scott's emailing me again. It's like, oh, here's an interesting piece of content from Scott. Oh my God, I do need to talk about my restricted stock units. I do need to talk about my budget. I do want to buy a house. I'm having a baby. Now is the time for me to start talking to an advisor and dig deeper. So this whole old paradigm of reaching out to people individually is just like not my vibe anymore. Super inefficient, super ineffective. I like the personal touch. So if somebody says to me like, hey, I'm not ready right now. Can you reach out to me in 3 months or 6 months? Yeah, I'll do that, right? I'm not going to not email people individually. But if I get a referral from somebody and the person like doesn't respond to me, I'm not going to keep calling them every week for the next 6 months. It just makes no sense to me. So inefficient. I want to put them on an email list and email them, and they can remove themselves from the email list if they don't want to work with me. And then boom, right? Win-win. They just said no, and I get to move on and talk to people that do want to talk with me. So that's a third way of becoming a prospecting farmer. And the last way, and this is my favorite way, is to train your clients to refer you business. And this is really simple, but it has to be done the right way, right? There's a whole process to it that I teach inside my Financial Advisor Academy. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. But there's a whole process to training your clients to refer you business. So every week you wake up and there are inbound referrals in your inbox or in your text messages or however you want to receive referrals. Maybe the people are calling you. And that is a motherfucking vibe, getting inbound referrals consistently from people. Woo! That is like one of my favorite things to wake up to. I see it in my inbox. I'm like, cool, another referral. Like, and then the person's excited to meet with me. They're like motivated. There's a trust bridge. And then it just becomes so much more fun to show up and actually help people who are engaged in the planning process. So my friends, this was your sign. This is your catalyst. This is like the fire under your tushy to say, if you're not getting inbound referrals right now in your business, I'm telling you, your process is broken and we got to work on it if you want to have a sustainable business. If you want to hustle your way to success until the end of time, so be it, go for it. Not my vibe, not what I want to do, and certainly not what I teach. But if you want to create more scalability, more flexibility, more freedom, and more income potential in your business, we got to start getting you to get inbound leads. It doesn't happen overnight, but with a couple small tweaks, small pivots, you can start getting inbound referrals. And I am telling you, like, it's a feeling. I can't even describe it. It's so fucking nice. It's so nice when you start getting inbound referrals and you're like, holy shit, this business can be easy. Like, what? It's like I spent so many years struggling just to get like where I'm at, to stay in this like relatively mediocre place. I can't believe it was so easy all along. So I love you, my friends. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram. My personal Instagram is @ScottyTaylor Jr. And my business Instagram for financial advisors is @The Financial Advisor Academy. So hit me up on either of those and we can have a chitty chat. If you have questions, if you want to dig deeper, and if you're an advisor and you actually want to start getting inbound referrals, then shoot me a DM and we can chat about whether or not the Financial Advisor Academy is the right program for you. I love you. I support you. I'm always here for you. And I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, my friends. Take care.